This is the second of the recordings this weekend as we go over the Keyforge Premier League, just me, no muffins. And this is the game with juliejuly versus Siaka. Julie's brought Pendragon, the Magistrate of Giants, and Siaka brought Leaddoom, the Brain of the Chosen. We can just have another quick look at these before we go into the game itself. So, Julie's deck, Pendragon, it's got a kind of not so great Untamed. It's like there's a lot of board control in this deck, but the Untamed isn't much more than that. There's a couple of regrowths, some very lackluster creatures. It's all about the cauldron balls with the unsuspecting pros. But the flip side to that is it's got plenty of ways to dig through its deck in both the Star Alliance and the Saurian to maybe then put those Untamed away with the Philosopher's and the Lay of the Lands. Huge board control, as I say. You've got 3 red alerts, the Cauldron Boils, you've got a Flank Strike, an Axiom, all good stuff. Philosophersaurus, Golden Spiral, nice. Not very much by the amber control though. You know, fast amber, but not very much by the way of amber control. Going over to Siaka's, we've got Leaddoom, the Brain of the Chosen. Very similar story. They're not quite so good board control. There's like a couple of banishes and the Unlocked Gateway, and then things like the Orb of Bombardment, Flotsam Spikes, maybe. Equally, very poor on the amber control. Not much amber control there at all. But you know, the houses are a bit better balanced. So you want to try and get early in Logos, try and get that first turn Eureka, and then maybe slow the game down a bit with the pips, whilst you speed through your deck. Because this looks like it's quite fast through its deck. You've got the Invasion Portal, you've got the Sotsukins if you can get them active. There's a slight chance here you can get the Resting Gunts into play. It doesn't look like it's a particularly good Resting Gunts lock deck, but you never know when you get lucky. So here we go, 2 decks, not great on the amber control, so it's going to be a rush between the two of them to see if they can get through the deck as fast as possible, control the board, and see who wins. So moving on to the game itself, let's see how it goes. Right, just wait for them to come in. Looks like Julie won the flip, so we'll have a look at that. Looking at Siaka's, Julie's manager saw that. I saw Julie's was a pretty bad Untamed start. So led out with Philosophersaurus. Siaka kept theirs. Eureka unfortunately archived the Logos that only they had was Fila. Back to Julie, Philosophersaurus, deploy Ludo. Discard the Calipigian. I would have played it, and I'd also have held the Axiom because you could board clear whatever Siaka comes out with, which is a Mars board. Nice Mars board. Discard the Hounds does nothing. Resonator set up. Invasion Portal set up. Out comes Spears. Protect it with the Light of the Archons. Use a Lay of the Land. See if you can get some more support for Spears. We've got a Golden Spiral. Oh, Kirby is nice. So out comes Kirby, plays the Golden Spiral. Back over to Siaka. A bit early for the disc, I personally would feel. Let's lean into Mars for a moment. Let's Invasion Portal, God of Ticks. But also discarded a whole bunch of stuff, including a Generosity and a Resting Guntus. We have to wait for them to come around on the flip, which is not going to be long. Clear Stones, reap with that. Kill the Philosophersaurus with a Sky Booster Squadron. That seems the next play, because you can then play the Ticks next to the Feeler, draw a card. Oh yeah, obviously you put the Resonator next to the Dominator. Drew a card. Anything useful? Don't think it was. Shoot Ludo. Yeah, they shot Ludo. Put one on it, because at least that way when you kill Ludo you get it rather than the others. Star Alliance turn from Julie. Spears here. He's going to try and filter that deck as best they can. Use Kirby, I guess, to get an extra 2 cards first before you filter it, and shoot the Proliferator. Okay. Use Regrowth on Philosophersaurus, okay, and then chucked it away again. Not sure why you do that. Why wouldn't you just chuck it away? Well, I suppose you got an amber, but I would have kept the Kirby effect for whatever you got in the second hand. Anyway, we got a Spears out of it, we got a Red Alert out of it, so we did a bunch of damage, killed the Proliferator, set spears up with a ward thanks to Ingram. Pass back. So I would now be tempted to maybe dis and try and clear the board. I think if you launch the banish at the spears first, it'll remove the ward. Do whatever you like, and then you can unlock gateway the rest of the way. The alternate would have been playing the bronze key and leaving it out, which holds off Julie for this turn, because Siaka's already just got there first because they had the fast ramper they had. But it's still letting them get away with a really big Star Alliance turn. So yeah, play it, bin it. Julie will get the key, so the bronze key becomes pointless. Also rejoin into standardized testing, so whatever creatures Julie now plays are going to get dead. Julie's going Saurian, took Archive, get an Amber Pip off the flank strike. You could get a bit of Amber now. You could play the Dark, play the thing that with the Reap Power, can never remember it. Then Saurian between. Oh, so they did Elder, that's what it's called. They got rid of it. Okay, and just did a Reap off the Spiral. So standardized testing took it away. Suttikin into double Pip. All got blown away by a red alert. Dead turn for Julie. That was the only Star Alliance card he had. Back with ZYX Feeler. And Suttikin drew into non-Logos. But Julie got another red alert. Bang! Another dead turn. Our resting goods now could be the game decider. If Siaka does the math and realises there's not been an Untamed turn from Julie, drop resting goods, name Untamed. They have. There you go. Game. Entire hand of Untamed. So Julie couldn't do a thing. Pass turn. Go to next game. Well, that was lucky, I think, on the resting Guntus. If they'd have had so much as one Saurian card, Julie could have played it and just killed the resting Guntus by attacking with it, with the Saurian creature. But you know, that's sometimes how it goes. Sometimes luck is with you. So now, of course, as this is adaptive, Julie gets to play with the same deck. Just having a quick look. Doesn't look a great one for Siaka. I'd mulligan that. There's like, yeah, they did. Doesn't get much better. Julie kept hers as some. Dropped the invasion portal first, then a whole slew of Logos to come, potentially killing whatever hits the board with the standardized testing. Ditch the. Oh, Julie's gone miles. Yeah, ditch the Untamed, get the Amber, put over Rusnora, use the invasion portal, damage that Rusnor, play Proliferator. Not great. It's not hard to kill that Proliferator. Siaka did the Saurian turn. Logos. Okay, careful how you use the standardized testing here. Maybe play the Smoko first. Archive off the Smoker, kill the Pterodactyl, play the Feeler, draw a card off the ZYX. Wasn't anything useful. Pass. Star Alliance, surely. Lay of the Land. What do they get? They got another Lay of the Land. Yeah, Lay of the Land again off that first Lay of the Land. Oh, took another red alert. Play one red alert. Stack up on the Rusnora. I'd have probably gone for the Elder. Pass to Julie, you get to archive a card from ZYX. The resting goods is not looking good right now. So Logos, yeah, Logos, deploy Suttikin, deploy Pips, reap the ZYX, pass over. Siaka's managed to get a key from all that sort of Amber off the Untamed early, and the Star Alliance Amber. So we went for an Untamed turn. Okay, I might have gone Saurian myself. So yeah, fight, kill the invasion portal, play out Feathered Shaman, regrowth. What was the regrowth? Oh, the Pterodactyl. Okay, Saurian turn looks nice next turn. Pass over. Meanwhile, here's a dis turn, unlock gateway, boom, archive one, get to Amber. Still a bit of an uphill to trek for Julie at the moment, but at least the board is being kept clear. Yeah, Saurian from Siaka, stack up on the Pterodactyl, pass over. Oh, the resting Gunsus just went under the jar Google. That's interesting. Sort of can go back over here, remove the stun, come in, crash in again. Resting Gunsus is now in the archive. Deploy the ODART, bin off the exile because there's no valid targets. You certainly don't want to give them a pterodactyl whilst it's got a Calpurnian ideal. This draw resting Gunsus. I'd have gone Mars. Try and get a Dominator next, though, resting Gunsus. Anyway, gets shot by the unsuspecting prey. Song the ball for nothing. Regrowth the one untamed creature you've got. Sling it out. Now there comes the Mars. I must admit I would have done this first. Resonate is in place and online. Again, I'd have put the worm on the other side of a Dominator because you weren't affecting the keys this turn. And what's about to happen is I think that pterodactyl is going to kill it at some point. I'd have gone Star of Alliance rather than Saurian. But if you are in Saurian, that is a dead resonator because you just hit the worm twice off of the spiral. Okay, at least it gets banished before it can do anything. Ember Imp comes down to slow because obviously that pterodactyl was about to Calpurnian ideal for a key. At least now Julie's got that amber for her first key. Siaka, Star Alliance, deploy the whole board. Pitch the red alert, it does nothing. Play the ball out, ward the frame I would have done. It's a dead turn for Kirby. Frame's one of your few amber controls, but instead we've warded the Ingram and put the amber on Ingram. Pass to Julie. He's gone Logos. The Eureka hit the other Eureka, then out Curator. Not a great turn, but it was enough to put her on check for the second key. So Siaka could stop it either Star Alliance or Saurian. I'd want to, if I could, kill the Ember Imp because we know that both decks have very little amber control. So go for a race. How are we going to kill the Ember Imp? They've gone Saurian. Can we do pterodactyl tricks? No, we haven't got enough. We can ready it. Yes, we could actually. Hisario. If the pterodactyl was on the other end, you could have Hisarioed in between the pterodactyl and the frame, the Cleavestone, and then hit the Dominator. But we're not going to be able to do that because it's on the wrong end. So Hisario just gets us a couple of amber. Golden Spiraled Kirby, was that? Yeah. To put the camouflage. Again, I wouldn't have put it on Ingram. Ingram's not the one you're relying on. You're relying on your frame. Never mind. So back to Julie. Oh, that was nice. So banish the Ludo so you could steal with the Shula to go check for second key again with quite a sizable margin. Reap as well. But there's a huge board. Siaka gets there second. It's a huge board here. Julie's got to be very careful. An unlocked gateway is kind of what's needed here. Oh no, Ludo is there. Sorry, Ludo's still there. Couldn't see it all because all the stuff punted out of the side. Yeah, so Julie's got to be real careful now because Siaka's going to just use that board. Could we? I'm just looking actually. Yeah, I think Julie's got to be really careful here. You need that unlocked gateway. All bombardment kills the Ludo. Oh right, okay. If you put it on the frame, you can kill it with the ticks. Yeah, and you're on 6, and that's game. Yeah. Clearly, Julie had a better handle on that than me. I was going to try and dig for the gateway. You didn't need it. You're on 6 now, and the Siaka has no way to take off. So that's 2 games to Siaka's deck. Possibly not the one I would have chosen at the start. So it's now bidding. I'd probably bid now on Siaka's deck, having seen it. 2, 3, something like that. We'll have to see how they do. Obviously, because this is adaptive, Siaka gets to go first. Oh, Jupiter's calling it. Right, okay. So yeah, Siaka 0. Julie bids 1. Siaka has a think. I'd go straight back with 2 with me. I'd probably go 3. So yeah, Julie 3. Siaka has to think. Does Siaka want to go 4? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced I'd go 4 on this. How are How are they thinking? They've gone 4. Siaka has gone 4. Is Julie going to go 5? I mean, that's certainly more than I would. I mean, that game was really close. If Julie was like 1 less amber, it was probably Siaka's game. And the first game was decided on a very lucky resting Gunter's lock. So, yeah, I'm not convinced there's a massive amount of mileage difference between these decks. So Julie's gone 5. Is Siaka going to go 6? I think that's a big handicap, 6. I suppose Siaka's deck is the one that is better spread across its houses, so you're unlikely to have truly dead turns. Julie for 5. Alright, okay, Julie for 5. So Siaka didn't want to go 6. So yeah, they'll just set up the next game. And we'll see how they do with 5 chains on Julie. It's interesting how that went, you know, 1 step at a time. There is an argument for an adaptive of going the big steps to try and phase your opponent to either make them overcommit or back down. So if you knew, if you were, say, Julie, that you were prepared to go to 5, just entered straight in on 5. Would it have made any difference? Oh, you know, entered on 3. Would it have made any difference to Siaka? Would Siaka have backed down? Don't know. Anyway, they're off. Jib's a bit late there. What have we got? Can't see what happened there in the. It looks like, yeah, Julie went Mars after a mulligan, dropped a Sky Booster Squadron. Siaka then basically dropped their Untamed and went from there. Back to Julie, more Mars. We got a Martian Generosity and then waiting in her hand, but there's also some decent Logos. Looks like Siaka's trying to push value out of this Untamed, particularly the Eldest Bear. Killed by going Mars. Martian Generosity for 4 cards. Didn't get a single Mars card. That's unlucky. Past the Siaka, but at least you got a reasonable Logos to come. Song of the Wild. Really push the Untamed. That's as far as you're going to get though, but you are on check. Eureka, Sutterkin. Oh, and it archived one of the Logos. That's dead unlucky. I think Julie's having a really unlucky ride of the RNG here. Star Alliance, yeah, sure. Stack up on your Explorer over, lay of the land. You're going to have a massive Saurian turn next. I think Julie's got to be careful. It'll be tempting to try and use the disc turn for the Unlock Gateway, but obviously we know you want to wait a turn for that. I think you do have to go disc though. I think Logos is going to get you nowhere. So they'll chain Siaka up with the 3 chains. Not finished with you. Putting the Mars back in. Alright. And they don't get a lot of gateway, unfortunate, because we just say, as we know, huge Saurian turn comes out. Didn't want to risk 2 chains just to ward the Rust Nora. Back to Julie. Resting Gunters isn't looking great, but try it. Name Saurian. It's going to get punched by Untamed. Yeah. Pass. It was a bit of a dead turn though for Siaka. And we're on 1 key each. Sorry, 2 keys now for Siaka versus 1. It's quite a fast game because of the lack of amber control. Now made key cost 10 from the Mars. Pass over to Siaka. Saurian, yeah. Saurian, take the archived card. Deploy the lot. Where are you going to Hisario? You want Hisario on your Philosophosaurus and Stenopius, yeah. Reap with the lot. You're on almost check, pending on killing that Resonator. This, Sheila will steal one. You can exhume the Resting Gunsus, name Saurian. It's just going to get punched by Untamed. Play out Ember Imp. It's a stalling turn. It hasn't really got Julie to her 2nd key. So Siaka's now trying to find a way to kill that Resting Gunsus. At least it's now protected by Dominator. Unfortunately, there's an unsuspecting prey. So that's just going to kill the Imp, kill the Resting Gunsus, put it on Resonator. Reap with the Tantadin. There's no point really fighting. Regrow whatever you've got free in Untamed. Oh, there's a shaman. Great. Reap, reap, reap. Reap again to go to 10. Right. Pass. Very little in Julie's deck will now stop this. There's no amber control in either of these decks, so you can afford to meet the 10 cost. And there you go. Siaka wins. I think it was a step too far on the chains, I must admit. Two very closely matched decks, but I don't think there were 5 chain differences. So yeah, good play by both players, and well done to Siaka for the win.